Let's talk about that feeling. You know the one. That little nagging sense that someone somewhere hit the fast forward button on the world and just forgot to tell you. It seems like we all share this feeling. This quiet anxiety that time is just slipping through our fingers faster than ever before. So today, we're going to go on a little journey to find out why. From the illusions inside our own minds to a cosmic secret that might be unfolding all around us.
I mean, seriously, just stop for a second and think about it. The weeks just kind of blur into months. That summer vacation you were so excited for feels like it was over in a weekend. This isn't just a meme you see online. It's this deep, collective feeling that the whole rhythm of life has changed. So the real question isn't if it's happening, but why? What is actually going on here?
All right, let's put some hard numbers to this feeling because this is where it gets a little bit unsettling. You remember the start of Japan's new Reiwa era? Feels like it just happened, right? Nope. That was 6.5 years ago. The animated masterpiece Your Name, which still feels so recent, that came out 9 years ago. And get this, here's the real kicker. We are just 1 month away from the year 2026. When you see it laid out like this, yeah, it's undeniable. The clock isn't just ticking, it's sprinting.
Okay, so what's the official story on this? Well, the first place science always looks for an answer isn't out in space, but right up here, inside our own heads. The most common explanations basically treat this whole thing as a trick of the mind, just a series of really convincing illusions that are cooked up by our brains.
The really crucial concept to get here is subjective time. See, a minute on your watch is always going to be 60 seconds. That's objective, it's fixed. But your experience of that minute, that is totally flexible. It's the reason why a great concert flies by in what feels like a flash, but a dentist appointment can feel like it lasts for an eternity. For years, we've basically been told that this subjective clock is what's on the fritz. And the prime suspect for this has always been this really elegant little piece of logic, sometimes called Janet's Law. It's all about proportion. For a 5-year-old, a single year is a massive 20% of their entire life. It's just this huge ocean of new things to experience. But for a 50-year-old, that exact same year is just a tiny 2% sliver of their life. So of course it feels shorter. It's simple, it's clean, and you know what? It makes perfect sense.
And then you've got the modern accomplice in all of this, the smartphone. I mean, think about all those little pockets of nothing that used to exist in a day. Waiting in line, the commute, just sitting there. That was downtime, right? Time could stretch and breathe. But now, every single one of those gaps is plugged with a constant fire hose of stimulation. We're scrolling, we're watching, we're playing. We're basically numbing the very sensors our brains use to perceive the slow, steady passage of time. We've effectively edited out all the boring parts. And in doing that, we've compressed our entire lives.
So there you have it. The case is closed, right? It's because we're getting older and because we're always on our phones. It's a neat, tidy explanation that wraps everything up with a nice little bow. But doesn't it feel a little too neat? What if these perfect psychological answers aren't the whole story? What if they're just a convenient distraction from something way, way stranger and far, far bigger?
And this is where our story takes a really sharp turn into the unknown. We're going to set aside those brain illusions for a minute and ask a question that sounds like it's pulled straight from science fiction. What if this isn't in our heads at all? What if the universal clock itself, the actual fabric of reality, is physically speeding up? Now, before you dismiss that idea, just remember, we've known for over 100 years that physical time is not some constant thing. It's flexible. Einstein proved it. Speed warps time. If you put an atomic clock on a jet, it will literally take slower than one on the ground. And gravity warps time. You remember the movie Interstellar, right? Where an hour near the black hole was years back on the ship? That is real physics. The rules of the universe already say that time can be stretched and squeezed.
But here's the mystery. Our speed through space and the gravity of Earth, they're stable. They're not changing. So if the usual suspects, speed and gravity, have an alibi, but the crime is still happening, what powerful, unseen force could possibly be accelerating time for every single one of us? Well, the answer might not have anything to do with our planet. It might involve the entire universe.
So let's dive into a theory called black hole cosmology. And I need you to stick with me here, because what it proposes is absolutely staggering. That our entire universe, with its billions of galaxies and countless stars, actually exists on the inside of a black hole from another older parent universe.
The basic idea is that what we call the Big Bang wasn't the beginning of everything from nothing. Instead, it was the other side of an event in that parent universe. Just try to picture matter falling into a black hole over there, and exploding out as our Big Bang over here. We aren't just in the universe, we are living inside the consequence of that cosmic event.
I know, that sounds completely wild. But here is the one piece of evidence that makes physicists really sit up and take notice. When you calculate the size of a black hole you would need to contain all the mass in our universe, the number you get isn't just some random figure. It perfectly, exactly matches the size of our observable universe. Now, that is either the biggest coincidence in the history of everything, or it's a massive clue pointing to a really shocking truth.
Okay, so what in the world does this have to do with your week feeling short? Well, everything. Because inside a black hole, the laws of physics get incredibly weird. Gravity becomes so extreme that it fundamentally changes the relationship between space and time. According to relativity, they essentially swap roles. Moving toward the center is no longer a choice, it becomes the exact same thing as moving forward in time.
You know, the best way to picture this is to think of water swirling down a drain. Far away from the drain, the water is just kind of drifting lazily. But the closer it gets, the faster the current pulls it, accelerating everything into a vortex. Okay, so in this cosmic version, the drain is the singularity at the center of the black hole. And the water? That's not just matter. It's everything. It's space, it's matter, and it is time itself, all flowing together.
For billions of years, we've been floating around in the slow part of that cosmic drain. But this theory suggests that maybe, just maybe, our entire reality has recently crossed a threshold. We've entered the acceleration zone, the part of the vortex where the flow towards the singularity picks up incredible speed. So the reason you feel like you're rushing is because the entire fabric of space-time that you inhabit is literally rushing, and it's pulling all of us along with it.
This leads us, of course, to the ultimate question. If we are all being pulled faster and faster towards this central point, what happens when we get there? Is that it? Is it just lights out? Well, in this story, the end is not an end at all. It's something far more profound.
See, the singularity isn't a point of destruction, it's a point of transition. Think of it like a cosmic recycling plant. Yeah, matter gets crushed, but the information that makes up that matter, our history, our art, our evolution, our memories, that cannot be destroyed. Quantum mechanics is really clear on this point. Instead, it all gets compressed into this infinitely dense seed, which then becomes the trigger for the next Big Bang.
And this is where the idea becomes truly beautiful. It means that everything we've ever been, every love, every discovery, every failure, it doesn't just vanish into nothing. It gets woven into the source code of a new reality. Our collective experience literally becomes the physical laws and the starting conditions for the universe that comes after ours.
So, when you look at it this way, this feeling of time speeding up isn't a source of anxiety anymore. It's not a sign that our time is running out. It's a sign that our universe is fulfilling its purpose. It's the feeling of a story reaching its climax, not its final page. This acceleration, it isn't an ending, it's a graduation.
So, if we really are all contributing to the blueprint for a new cosmos, then every single moment gains this new kind of meaning. Maybe the right response to this acceleration isn't to fight it, but to fill the time we have with the richest experiences we can, to create the most beautiful, complex, and loving information possible, as a gift to whatever comes next.